Alright, Ron Purvis, Sticky Fried Gamers here, back with you. We got just a couple of more videos and we're going to finish this tower up. Right now we're going to work on the ruined tower top. This is an optional thing that you don't have to do, but you can do, and it looks pretty cool. So I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys how to do that. I've gone ahead and put together most of the like the support pieces and the crenellations. There's a couple of little things I'll show you on the crenellations that are different from the top and the bottom. For starters, there's an actual end cap piece so that you have a ruined end, and the pieces are color coded. If you can see that, those dots are yellow, and on this side they're red. The ones in between these two are blue, so that you can color code, so you make sure you get the right side on the right side. So I am going to go ahead, we're going to go ahead and fold and glue our wall pieces together. These will be the exterior wall pieces. So we're going to go ahead and glue those. If you haven't already noticed, this is the piece I cut out in the tips and tricks video that I did, the little tip about cutting and scoring and all of them in the same direction at the same time. I'm going to do that one, and I'm going to go ahead and do this one as well, and then put them underneath to dry. Now the reason I did not cut out the ruined area is because I want to make sure that the glue spreads out clear to the edge. So we're going to slide these underneath here. That's another little tip and trick to help keep them flat. Plus it keeps your area clean so you can go ahead and do stuff. I'm going to go ahead and glue the floors together. You can see, again, I'm reusing my tiles. I don't see the point in wasting them just because there's one side's got something on it, especially if it doesn't matter to you what's on the other side, because it's going to be, if you can see, glued together. So you go ahead and you glue your pieces together here. Flatten it out good. Make sure your glue gets everywhere and or on both sides. Get it good and flat. Now this is one that I would recommend if you have your dark colored marker, or on this one even you could use your gray marker or a Sharpie on something if you wanted to show a burnt edge. I would go ahead and do that because, as you see, you're going to see the white on that. So okay. So same thing with that one. I'm going to slide it up under here. So now we're going to do these. These sections go to the walls. Actually, we'll go ahead and that's another little tip I'll go ahead and give you. You can skip around while I'm waiting on the glue to dry on those. I'm going to go ahead and glue these other pieces, and I'm going to do these just like I did in the other video. I'm going to glue these sections on first and let them dry like this before I bend them. Try and let them dry really pretty good before you want to bend them and get them on there, because once you start bending them, your glue could pop loose if it's not dry. See, like I've got a piece here that's popping loose. I'll just run another bead of glue in there. I must have not pushed it down before it dried, so put that there. I'll set that over here to the side. Alright, let's go ahead and pull our walls out. Now I am going to go ahead and cut these sections here. Now I use my X-Acto knife on just cutting the single cardstock. I like to use just one of these little cheap break off the blade things when I cut through double. So we're going to start up here. Cut. Now you can do these with a ruler if you want. I personally just like to freehand them. It's a ruined tire anyway. If you cut a little bit into the wall, not a big deal. You can color it up. You do have to be careful because you're pressing so hard trying to cut through two layers not to let it slip and cut yourself. Now, there's that piece. We'll get rid of that. There's your broken edge on your wall. So we're going to lay that over here, and we'll go ahead and come over here and cut this one. That's the reason I usually go ahead and cut everything, but I wanted to show you, how I could glue it together and how I cut these pieces here. Now this is one exception to the rule on the tip that I did on the tips and tricks. About trying to cut all your lines in the same direction. A lot of times where I'm doing these, I like to pull, whichever direction will give me the cleanest cut. So, alright, so there's that one. So now we're going to glue these two wall pieces together. Make sure you glue them the proper side out. Some of you have already watched the earlier video. I actually glued one inside out. This will be the exterior here that I'm showing. These are where the supports and your connector piece for the bottom will go. So let's just pull our other piece out. Alright, now these should be dry enough that I can go ahead and glue those together. Now the thing about this is where you don't have a complete circle, you may have to hold them together for a second or two till the glue sets up enough to hold. And now what I would recommend doing as well is when you hold it, would be to place your floor in there to make sure. You notice you're going to have to pull it pretty tight. And if you really wanted to, which I think I will now that I'm looking, I think I'm going to go ahead and glue the floor in there at the same time, which should help hold it together. Then you can just fold that on around there. Make sure you get your pieces in there good. And then you may have to have an extra pair of hands to do this like this. Me, I got to do this all by my lonesome. Kids are in bed, wife's in bed. I'm up playing, showing you guys some stuff. I see it's already starting to tack up here. Now another little trick you can use if you have some rubber bands, you can take and run you a rubber band around this to hold them in that shape. I wouldn't suggest using a real heavy duty rubber band because it would probably crimp your crenellations, but just enough to hold. See how quickly that glue takes hold? That's some good stuff. I really like it. If you haven't watched any of the earlier videos, Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive, get you some. Okay, so there's the ruined top part with the crenellations on it. We have these little pieces here. We're going to go ahead and glue them together. This is the connector piece for the bottom. And this is another one of those little tips and tricks that I was showing you about laying your rule up there because you can't see it, but it was not square, and now it is. Now it will be not as important that it be square on a ruined section as it may be on the other sections, but it will show up. Alright, so now I'm going to push that aside. Same thing we did before. We're going to bend the wall sections. I think I'm going to start close to the end over here this time first. Bend up. Bend up. I don't know if you guys can hear it. There's some guy hot rodding his motorcycle outside my window. I'm hoping that you can't hear it. It won't interfere with the video. Now here's where you got to be kind of careful. What I think I'm going to do is on this one, I'm actually going to take and pull up from the full side so that you can get a nice clean bend on it like that. Same thing with this one. Come in here, bend up where you've got the full piece to get with. Now, you see all the bends and stuff in that. Stainless steel ruler, definitely a must. You're going to want to bend, go ahead and bend your floor tabs in now, because we're getting ready to glue the floor in. I want to glue the top part of the floor first. Now, you can either cut these out before or after. I'm going to wait till after so that I know that my top line is going to be good and clean. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue in here. Let's turn this around where you can see it. Duh. A little bit in there. You don't want too much because you don't want it squishing out. Alright. You want to make sure that when you're getting it around there, that your broken piece is going to be the piece that's sticking out. You can start on one side. I usually try to start towards the back. Make sure I get it all lined up good. This is where your stick will come in handy again. You can just take it, tap or rub across there. You're not going to tear the paint up. If you do, so what? It's the ruined tower part. Okay. A little excess glue. Wipe that off with your thing. Alright. Now we're ready for the bottom piece. Now this piece, I'm going to go ahead and put some extra glue on it. Especially out here where it's going to be the ruined part. I want to make sure I get plenty of glue. And actually, there's another little tip and trick that I like to use. I take a scrap piece of cardstock, which I showed in some of the videos, and I'll just kind of smear it like this. That should ensure that I get good. Now here's another thing you need to watch. Make sure that you line your two edges up there. So you might want to start at that corner right there and then just align it from there. Okay, so now that I got that pretty much lined up, I can come on the top and press down. Because if you don't, it's not going to look right. I mean, if you don't care about what the underside looks like, that's fine. I'm really going to press in there where I'm going to be cutting. Okay, so there's that piece.